I have a taste for discussion. I love a hard question or two. And there's nothing like a good comeback when the questions get pointed. This is where I found myself really leaning in to what Jesus did on Tuesday. It sort of made my heart race. Just as good as Jesus was at capturing the attention of the crowds, he clearly had the chief priests and leaders hanging on his every word. But for all the wrong reasons. The temple clearing was perhaps the straw that broke their camel's back. Not to mention Jesus' entire ministry of healing and exorcisms and preaching and teaching the kingdom of God. They had to catch him in something, trap him, expose him as a false teacher before the people. These chief priests and leaders thought they just might have some questions for this Jesus. I'm not sure they were really interested in the answers. Their questions were just the means to a gotcha. Mark 11:27-33. A question about Jesus' authority. Jesus and his disciples returned to Jerusalem, and as he was walking through the temple, the chief priests, the nation's leaders, and the teachers of the law of Moses came over to him. They asked, "What right do you have to do these things? Who gave you this authority?" Jesus answered, "I have just one question to ask you. If you answer it, I will tell you where I got the right to do these things. Who gave John the right to baptize? Was it God in heaven or merely some human being?" They thought it over and said to each other, "We can't say that God gave John this right. Jesus will ask us why we didn't believe John. On the other hand, these people think that John was a prophet. So we can't say that it was merely some human who gave John the right to baptize." They were afraid of the crowd. So they told Jesus, "We don't know." Jesus replied, "Then I won't tell you who gave me the right to do what I do." Gotcha. Oh, they knew exactly who he was. They just weren't about to tell Jesus and admit before the crowd that they had been openly persecuting the Messiah. Jesus wrapped up his day with teaching, of course, never missing an opportunity. As he spoke in parable before the crowd, he knew quite well that he had their attention as well. Them. And oh, the message was clear. They were guilty of their treatment of God's leaders. I'm sure they squirmed. And I'm sure they began plotting right then and there to kill Jesus. Oh, Jesus answered their questions all right. And oh, what a comeback he had. But nothing like the comeback to come. And the week continued.